was really my only main experience of Earle. He went on then to join the Alexander Mackie staff, which later became COFA, College of Fine Art, and he became, of course, a very senior member of staff there. After retirement, we didn't meet up again, our paths didn't cross, but until we joined that very august body of fading old artists called the Pens and Pencils. There might be one or two members here now, Pens and Pencils. Cameron is different. Daniel referred to him as a maverick, and all those who knew Cameron did know that he was different. He was a very committed artist, a very committed teacher, but very often just didn't have the right words. He would say absolutely the wrong thing, but meaning it to be helpful. And I wouldn't describe him as curmudgeonly, but contrary, I think. So if you said something to Cam, he would find a way of contradicting it. You know, gosh, it's a beautiful day today. But rain is forecast for tomorrow would be a classic. And I remember saying to him on one occasion that I thought that Bonnard had difficulty with hands and feet. And you remember all the paintings of women in the bath and so on. And he would Bonnard went to great lengths of actually disguising the feet. Sometimes feet and hands, sometimes putting them outside the picture altogether. Sometimes putting him in slippers or behind the bath mat, under the bath. And one famous one, he's got a flannel over the hands. And I said, I think he just didn't like hands and feet. And Cam said, no, I don't agree. He said, I think it's much more to do with creating tension in the composition. And he went on like this, and I thought, oh, Jesus, this is, no matter what I say, it's going to be. And he did this with everybody. And then, after a long while, after probably a year or so, I thought, I'll just try and reverse this. So I can't remember the actual topic now, but I said to him, I quoted the exact opposite of what I thought, and I described what I thought, and Cam said, oh no, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. And then he reiterated exactly what I did think about it, and I was with great joy to say to him, Cam, you're absolutely right. So there we are. There was an occasion when he was Anne Cape's, everybody knows Anne, he was Anne Cape's teacher, and after she graduated she had an exhibition, and Cam, because he was a dutiful teacher and he was keen, he went, of course, to see the exhibition, and when Anne came out and met him outside, his remark was, you can do better than this. Look, he was terrific. He was terrific. And he had a wonderful knowledge of art, as all three of them did, of course. All three of them did. And Chris here tells me that he used to come frequently here as on a social visit, and he was terribly critical of everything that was on the wall. He'd come in and he'd start at the door and he'd criticise, he'd do everything that was wrong with it. So eventually Chris would say, when he appeared at the door, he'd say, come in, Cam, you're not allowed to speak about the art. So, now, there's three totally different people, and but what did they have in common? Well, as Daniel has already pointed out, they all had this terrific commitment to art. They had a great knowledge of art history. They were in no way driven by economic issues, fame or fortune. They were absolutely true to themselves. And of course, they had the luxury, all of them, of having tenured, comfortable jobs at the National Art School that a cheque arrived every 2 weeks, so maybe they didn't have to worry about. But nonetheless, they were all really wonderfully committed artists. And for that, well, they're rare, I think, and particularly these days. So I think now, in closing, I'd just like to say thank you to Daniel for doing all the work to put this, to collect the works together, and works that some are old friends and some we've never seen before, and for organising the catalogue, this opening and so on. And thank you very much to the Royal Art Society team that have given their space and their time to help Daniel put this on. I hope there's more like this, Daniel. And so with that, I'm delighted to say this show is now open. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Dan.